Did you know 1 in 5 women will be diagnosed with an autoimmune disease this year and they don't even know it? Are you silently suffering? That's right. I'm here to share with you some offerings that might be able to help you find the solution. Because 1 in 5 women, that's alarming. That is not right. That is not okay. We get to stop that. We get to find the solution and stop silently suffering. Because I know myself, I was silently suffering for years, right? And I didn't know who to turn to because the doctors couldn't help me. No one in my family understood what I was going through. I didn't even understand what was happening to my body and what was happening. So there's a lot of shame that goes into it. There's a lot of guilt. There's a lot of uncertainty, so much frustration. And, you go to doctors thinking they can help you, when in fact, they were making me sicker and sicker, right? So I was sicker and sicker after I was diagnosed. And I was silently suffering. I was exhausted, sleeping 10 to 13 hours a night, in a brain fog, not a present parent, wanting to take a nap at work, forgetting coworkers' names, miserable, existing, not living. Like, imagine forgetting coworkers' names. You're in a meeting with somebody that you've known for a year and you can't remember their name. You're at work trying to discuss something about an important idea or something that's coming to fruition for something in marketing, and you are in thought, and all of a sudden you go blank. You feel stupid, but you're not. But nobody else gets it. You're silently suffering, and you don't want to sit there and explain yourself to your coworkers, to your boss, to human resources, because they don't understand what you're going through, right? And so they don't know how to relate to you. So a lot of times it's kind of like, when someone close to you passes away, and I know this is morbid, but I'm just going to say it, because someone close to you passes away, a lot of people go away. They don't know how to talk to you or how to deal with the death, so they ignore you. When in fact, that's the time that you need them the most, right? It's very similar with autoimmunity and how you're feeling in different situations. Like if someone just said, "Are you okay? How are you feeling? How are you feeling today?" That's my favorite thing. How are you feeling today? Right? Because it's like, I could feel great today. Could feel like crap today, but tomorrow I could feel amazing when I felt like crap yesterday, or vice versa. So I always like to add that today part to it. But like just asking, "Are you okay today? Is there anything I can help you with today?" Simple things, right? But people don't know how to react or act in those situations because they have fear of their own, right? And fear is something that's made up story in our head that exists over time that we start to believe. But when we have that fear, we have no idea how to respond to someone or to help them in a certain situation. Right? And we don't want to be a statistic. We don't want to be that 1 in 5 women that's going to be diagnosed this year with autoimmune disease. I didn't want to be that person. I know you don't want to be that person, but the reality is that's what's going to happen. So we can choose to silently suffer, or we can choose to find the solution. And I'm sure, can you relate? Are you exhausted? Are you sleeping more than half the day? Are you calling into work sick or coming in late because you physically and mentally can't get out of bed? Right? Are you not a present parent? Are you going to work doing, it takes so much more energy for someone who has an autoimmune disease to actually function at a high level and a high demanding job than it does someone who doesn't. So then when you get home, you are exhausted mentally, physically, and your whole body aches because you are adapting and finding ways to overcome your autoimmunity because you are silently suffering, because no one knows what you're going through, because you don't want to share with them because you have no idea how to, and they will just not get it, right? It's kind of those things like you don't get it if you don't get it, right? So the reality is that you want to be energized all day. You only want to sleep 7 to 8 hours a night. You want to pop out of bed like a Pop-Tart. You want to be a present parent. You want to have clarity. You want to work all day without crashing. You want to be energized for your kids after work. Oh my gosh, that'd be amazing, right? You want to remember colleagues' names and details about their lives. You want to live in purpose every day, all day. And you want to be excited about life because you feel good, right? There's a different way that we present ourselves and we walk and carry ourselves when we feel good. And when we don't feel good because we're silently suffering, we have this weight on our shoulders, and literally facial expressions say it all. They absolutely do. They say it all. And I know how you feel, and I felt the same way. And what I found is a simple solution. I found a simple solution because no one could help me. No one could relate to me. No one understood what I was going through. I was not a normal patient. All the medications made me worse and sicker. My body wasn't absorbing medication, supplementation, or anything else that was being consumed that was prescribed to me. So I had to figure out my root cause. I chose to do that. I chose to do that because I didn't want to be the 1 in 5 women that was diagnosed that continued to silently suffer and was existing the rest of her life, right? I was 3.5. Sorry, my son was 3.5. Excuse me. My son was 3.5 when I got diagnosed with Hashimoto's thyroid autoimmune disease. My life came crumbling down. I had to stop working because I got sicker from the medication. I was exhausted, sleeping half the day. I was not a present parent. I could not take care of my child. I remember laying on the couch, calling and texting my husband at work to get home as soon as possible because I couldn't feed our son lunch. And he was in the high chair and he was safe, but I could not feed him. And it was just miserable. And I kept thinking, why me? What did I do to deserve this? I didn't do anything. I'm such a good person. But the reality is, it has nothing to do with you. It has to do with your DNA and your genetics because it's hereditary. And it also has to do with environmental toxins. You didn't do anything. It's not your fault. I want you to know that. It is not your fault. But I was determined and resilient about finding the solution. Because if it's meant to be, it's up to be. If it's meant to be, if it's meant to be, it's up to me. The mere word impossible says I'm possible. So I started to change my mindset. I started to think, well, I got diagnosed and I have this autoimmune disease, but what if? And I'm thinking, what if tomorrow is different? What if I can figure this out? What if I can find the medication and supplementation that works for me? What if I can find a doctor that could help me? What if I could talk to people and have friends and family that actually understood what I was going through? What if I had people that could support me? And I just started asking myself questions, question after question after question. And I started to slowly change my mindset as a model of positive change. And I started to feel a little better because I had hope. I gave myself hope and a glimpse of what's possible, right? And when we get hope and give hope, we feel like, maybe this is going to be okay. It's not life-threatening, it's just life-changing, is what the doctors kept telling me. But let me tell you something, it changed my life upside down. And I wasn't okay with it. And it's okay to sit in that for a hot minute, but it's not okay to sit in that for the rest of your life because there is a solution. I know how you feel. I felt the same way. What I found is a simple solution. It's simple. Is it work? Yes. But is it simple? Yes. Can you do it? Yes. If I can do it, you can do it. I'm no different than you. I just made a choice. I made a choice to stop feeling bad for myself and living in misery and start living and thriving with my autoimmunity. Right? So it's always a choice. I started over time to change my mindset, saying, what if, what else? How can I help myself? I started asking questions and being curious. When we're curious, we allow our minds to think differently. We allow ourselves to do things differently. We allow ourselves to be different, right? So just being curious is super helpful. Being curious in work, being curious at home, being curious with ourselves, just being curious in general is absolutely amazing, right? And we get to ask ourselves these questions. We get to ask ourselves, what if? Honestly, here's the thing, you guys. What is the worst thing that could happen? You already feel like crap. You already can't function. So what's the worst thing that could happen? Not so much. So why not try something else? Why not try to shift your mindset? Why not start to be positive instead of negative? Why not try to change your nutrition? Why not try to eat healthier? Why not start going for a walk every day? Because movement is medicine. And let me tell you, that shit works. So I just challenge you, like, do you want to live in misery or do you want to find the solution? Because I promise you that there's hope. And I can attest to it because I am here sharing this with you. I am a testament of what's possible and giving you hope because I found a simple solution. And that simple solution is coming your way the first week of May 6th through 8th. Because I am going to share with you in a free masterclass, the Autoimmune Solution. I'm so excited to share this with you because it's selfish of me to keep it to myself because I know what you're going through and it sucks. And I want you to feel better. I want to give you hope. I want to change your life. But you got to want that more than I do. So you get to choose if you're going to show up for this masterclass or not. Like everything in life, it's a choice. But I'm going to share with you how I changed my mindset as a model of positive change, how I changed my nutrition to serve my autoimmune disease, how I found accountability, and how I started changing my fitness and exercise routine to serve my autoimmunity. And those 4 pillars of mindset, nutrition, accountability, and fitness are the 4 pillars to changing your life with the Autoimmune Solution. Because when you actually do the change and you do the work, you're going to feel better. It's just what's going to happen. There's no way that you cannot feel better, right? So for example, when you do mindset work and you look yourself in the mirror and you tell yourself that you are amazing, you are confident, you are resilient, you are a powerhouse, and you do it over and over and over again, you start to believe it's true. So you start to show up differently, you start to act different, and things start to shift. It's like building a muscle, a mind muscle, a muscle in your mind, right? And when we do that, life changes and we start to feel good and endorphins get released and it's positivity and we reframe things and we see things different. Because when you look at things now, they look a certain way. But when you change your mindset and you look at the same things, they change how they look. And you change how you feel. Because you're doing the work. It's simple. But is it easy? No. Will everyone do it? No. But you have the choice to be someone who does do it and find the solution. Because on the other side of the misery that you're going through is a whole new world and an amazing life that's waiting for you. And I'm so excited to cheer you on. I will be your biggest cheerleader, hands down. And I'm excited for you to hop on this free masterclass, May 6th through 8th, because you are going to gain information on how to find the autoimmune solution so you can start thriving with autoimmunity instead of existing. And I will be cheering loudly for you every step of the way.